Hi, and thank you for joining me for the Dwellings Direct review of the contract to lease. Today, we're going to go over what the contract to lease is and what is the difference between the contract to lease. The contract to lease is exactly what it sounds like. It's an actual binding contract where the terms are set for the actual lease. Rather than having verbal negotiations between the renter and the landlord, this is used as a tool to bind those agreements. So once you have the contract to lease in agreeable terms, the contract is then signed, and those terms are then translated into the actual lease. So with that being said, we'll get right to it. First thing you're going to want to go to is floridarealtors.org. And if you haven't yet, please register for an account. It is a free tool to you as a realtor. It comes with, as a Florida realtor, rather. So you should sign up for a membership, and once you're in there, you go right to Form Simplicity that you'll see right here in the middle. We'll then open up your forms. And for me, I already started it, but you would want to go to Library. I'm just going to show you here. You can just type in lease, and it'll pull it right up for you. There's your contract to lease. You'll click on it there, and it'll open up the contract to lease. Now, if you don't have the correct PDF editor like this computer doesn't, you just click over and use the HTML editor, and that's just fine. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is enter the parties to the contract. And on this here, it's the prospective landlord first. And we're going to use Dorn Wellington Developments. And then you're going to enter in the prospective tenant, and we're going to use John Doe. Next line, you're going to want to set the date that the executed lease is going to be ready by. If you are going with a homeowners association or a condo association, when you make application, 9 times out of 10, they want a copy of the actual lease. So, and these guys take, 14 to 30 days to process applications. So you're going to want to get that in as soon as possible. So you're going to want that lease back within just a couple days. And here you'll see that we put 10/21/2015. It was just a couple days from now. Next, you're going to determine who is actually going to prepare the lease. 9 times out of 10, it's the landlord's agent that prepares the lease. They'll send that over to you. Now, the deposits, when you're making an offer, you're going to want to include some sort of deposit. The rent on this actual property here is $1,200, so we're going to ask for a $600 deposit, or a half a month deposit. And the nice thing about this too is it covers your commission. It means that we're now holding your portion of the commission that you'll get out of the contract. We do hold escrow, so you'll see that we're going to ask for a $600 deposit, and Dwellings Direct escrow is going to hold it. Now, if your client only says, "Oh, well, I'm only comfortable with putting up a $200 deposit today," that's fine. Take it. Get the offer in. Next thing you want to do is enter in the property address, which you'll see right here, 1045 Goldenrod Road, Wellington, Florida, 33414. You're going to want to identify whether or not the property is furnished. And in this case, it is not, so we checked unfurnished. Next, you're going to want to put in what the property is used for, or who's going to be using the property. And for this demonstration, we're just going to say John Doe only. Next, you're going to want to put in the dates that the lease will commence and end on. This here, we're going to do 11/1/2015, and it's going to end 10/31/2016. The money due before the move-in is first, last security. It's $1,200, so that's $3,600 that you're gonna have to put right in here. Next, we're gonna lay out what the move-in monies are. First month's rent, $1,200, due by 10/31/2015. Last month's rent, due 10/31/2015, and the security deposit due $1,200, due 10/31/2015. Now, in the second paragraph here, this shows where that $600 that you collected up in line, I believe it's line 2. Yes, no, number 2, where that's going to be applied. So you'll see here that that's going to be applied to first month's rent. Next, you're going to show the total amount of the entire lease, how much is going to be paid, which this is $14,400. Tenant's not paying any taxes or anything on that, and we're going to want it paid here monthly on the first day of each month for $1,200. Pets on this particular property are prohibited. Smoking is prohibited inside. Now we're going to go to page 2. Utilities. This is where sometimes condos, things like that, they'll have the water and the cable included, and this is where you would put that in. This particular property, nothing's included, so we put NA. Maintenance. A landlord will be responsible for maintenance and repair of the property except for personal property. They're not going to repair any of the tenant's personal property should anything get damaged, anything like that. Next, we're going to want an association approval. And who's going to pay for the application fee. So the tenant would be responsible for the application fee if there was one. In this particular case, there is not. So we put in 0, and we'd want it if there was one, at least by the 31st of the month if it was going to start on the 1st. So you'd need that prior to move in. Number 12, under additional terms. For example, you'd put landlord will have the carpets cleaned prior to move-in. So anything they say they want done, whether it's painting or the place cleaned or the carpets cleaned or carpets replaced or anything like that, this is where you would want to set those terms. Then here they talk about the credit and background, how we're going to review that. Failure to perform, it just says that if they fail to abide by this contract, then their deposit is at risk and they will lose their deposit. Right here is where you would put in the prospective tenant's address. We'll just do 123 Main Street, Wellington, Florida 3414, and the telephone number 561-555-1111, and email John Doe at AOL.com. And from there you would just save and close. And typically this is where it'll ask you, do you want to save this to an existing transaction or create a new one? You would want to create a new one and name it whatever you want. For this, I did, sample C2L, contract to lease. And then it'll bring you up to this screen here. You check it, go over here to download, lock the forms, and download the file. Once your file is downloaded, you'll be able to open it up, take a look at it in PDF form, and you'll see here what the whole form looks like. The parties, the dates, the deposits, the additional terms. You have your prospective tenant sign and date, and then you send it off to the listing agent. Alrighty, well, I hope this has helped you. Good luck, and let us know if you have any questions.